What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else so you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data, there honestly isn't that much. So you have building permits on Tuesday. And so in the past, we've had that bullish, bearish, regardless, doesn't really move the market all that much. You do have a couple of Fed speakers throughout the week, Powell being one of them on Friday. So, of course, that could be relatively impactful. FOMC minutes back in 2024, that used to be a big deal, really moving the market. Lately, not all that much because the market generally knows what is stated and it's really a nothing burger. So that's going to be nothing really to pay attention to. You have a couple flash data points, manufacturing. And so that one, again, could potentially have people start to talk about inflation and tariffs again, and that does coincide with this right here. So Walmart's earnings is on Thursday before the market does open, so pretty much the exact same time as that manufacturing data. For those of you that do remember, 2 quarters ago, Walmart gave very grim future guidance that sparked a hell of a lot of fear in the market. So that could potentially be something that might cause some level of uncertainty if Walmart is still relatively bearish due to, let's say, higher inflation or whatever else. And then aside from that, though, like I said, you do have Powell on Friday. There's a couple of things to take note of specific to Lucid, though. So you do have this. So their actual shareholder meeting that is early, bright and early on Monday. If you want me to live stream it, I can definitely do so. But most likely, in and out, it'll be maybe 15 minutes max. So once they actually take quorum and they give the results of the one only proposal, which is the reverse stock split, then they're going to conclude it. They're not going to be talking on, hey, we're going to be doing it this, blah, blah, blah. That's not what happens in shareholders meetings. It is simply just to take vote. And so I think generally speaking, a lot of people really do not want the reverse stock split to go through. So if it does pass, which in my opinion, it probably will because of the PIF, but nonetheless, if this does pass, you might have a certain little bit of a sell-off. One abnormal thing I wanted to kind of bring up, and my apologies, I did take a quick trip to New York, so that's why I haven't done a lot of videos, but I did visit the studio yesterday, Saturday, test drove the Gravity, and holy hell, that is one sexy, very sexy video. So I did a full video all about that, driving it. The advisor, Christian, honestly, best individual I've ever spoken to, and I've visited roughly around 4 different studios. Hands down, Christian was like on point, so I got to give him props because I did really test him quite a lot. I asked him like, hey, what if this, what if this, what if this? So I'll be putting out that video most likely in the next couple of days. But yeah, that Gravity is sexy as hell. But anyways, back to it though. So my apologies, I'm not doing a lot of Lucid videos, but I would have brought this up if I did because there was some abnormal transactions on the secondary or on the dark pool. So you have a $11 million transaction, 6.9, and then 1.1. And so ultimately, why would that occur after hours on Friday? It wasn't linked to options. There was no crazy option activity from that. So maybe some big money is anticipating once the reverse stock split or that vote to go through, then maybe they're anticipating a bump up. So possibly just an overreaction lately because of this. So this definitely will be relatively impactful. So let me know your general thoughts. And if you do want me to live stream it, I can definitely do so. Again, it's not going to be that long. It'll be like 15 minutes. But nonetheless, though, this is some of the upcoming events. So they're concluding, looks like today in the California Sprint, Pebble Beach as well. So this upcoming week, they will be at Electrify Expo. And then just that's for September. So not really all that much. But aside from that, though, looking at shorts, 32.13% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 403 million shares overall are being shorted. So last couple of days since I haven't done a video, shorts looks like they have been increasing. So that does coincide with obviously the stock price kind of going down. Even on Friday, net, they did increase 1,000 shares. So anticipate them to be fairly active and most likely extra active associated to the whole shareholder meeting, so on Monday. When it comes to the options, like I said, there wasn't really all that much in open interest. So you had 12,000 that was at that 2, nothing really crazy. Looking forward into this upcoming week, you have 20,000 at that 250, 10,000 at that 3, 6,000 at that 350, and then 3,000 at that 4. So potentially if Lucid does near 250, then you could see most likely shorts wake up a little bit, try to suppress it. But from the bull activity that did happen on Friday, there's a consensus for it to be roughly around that 250 mark. Bears are anticipating for it to be kind of between that 2 and 250. So again, something just to keep in mind. Aside from all that, with it at 218, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 211 is going to be a strong support. 225 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So if you're wanting to average down, dollar cost average, or whatever else, just watch for a lot of the support levels. So 203, then $1.90. Flip side, that 225, 239, and 247 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. And it is rather unfortunate. While I was kind of getting on a plane, I saw that Lucid was starting to break off of that 50-day moving average. So on Thursday, Lucid was so close to breaking out. Just didn't really have enough there, but there wasn't any new analyst ratings, no articles really coming out about it, aside from linking to that new concept vehicle. But yeah, ultimately, it did bounce off of that 50-day moving average right here. So it is consolidating. So potentially you could see that retested. So that is at 235. Then 240 is that 100-day moving average. Stochastic RSI, arguably it kind of moved up a little bit, but still rather overdone in my opinion. So potentially a good piece of news, or whether it be broader market or specific to Lucid, you could see a nice push higher. This upcoming week, aside from the Fed speakers and Walmart's earnings, it is going to be more of a technical driven week. So that could really help Lucid if it does retest that 50-day moving average early on. So again, something to keep in mind. So this is pretty much all the stuff that is going to be impactful to the broader market and as well Lucid. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.